So Landwärme is one of the first movers in the biomethane market. We started off 2007, mainly in the field of project development, finding sites where biomethane can be produced sustainably, and moved into the trading and the utility business of biomethane. So we're supplying nowadays many utilities, power stations, and the mineral industry with biomethane. Mainly in Germany, but also in a lot of neighboring countries. I think the combination of different developments we have seen. So climate protection has become more urgent in the last years. And now with the crisis and energy crisis, the question where methane, where natural gas comes from, also came in. So it is not about just being climate positive. It's also about decentral, it's about reliance. And these are factors which really promote parts of the biomethane business. So the parts where we can do it rural, decentral, in all of Europe. So this is the big potential we see. And REPowerEU set a really interesting target, which is challenging but doable. So first of all, it is a big challenge, because if we look at the current biomethane production, it is like eightfold the production of today. But if you set the view a little bit different and you look at the fermentation capacity, the biogas production we have in Europe, it's just doubling this biogas production. So that is something which is more doable. And for especially Germany, which has a target which would be around 8 to 10 BCM, well, we have already this biogas production in Germany. So we just have to convert it to biomethane. That is an easy one, which can be done within several years. But also if you look at this German biogas capacity, most of it, 80–90% of this biogas capacity was installed within 4 years. So there was this hype of the industry, 2005 to 2009. So it was possible in Europe to establish such a large amount of biogas production within a few years. So what we have to do now is a density of biogas production, of bioenergy utilization as we see it in Germany, but also Denmark, parts of France, and bring it into every country, into every rural area. Mainly do it with the focus on biomethane, combine it with peak demand electricity production, and then we'll quite close to reach a target. It very much depends on the country. So the countries can pick, do they want to be more the producer side, on the consumer side, what role do they want to do? We see cases like Switzerland has been a big consumer of biomethane in Europe, but mainly importing countries saying, okay, we don't have a very big agricultural potential, but we have a high willingness to pay. And they are now on a level of 10 to 15% of the natural gas consumption. Imports are already biomethane. So this is a good example. So countries can pick more on the demand side, more on the production side. But I think one of the easier steps is to open up the biofuel sector and to integrate biomethane in every sector where we promote biofuels, where we have bioethanol blending, biodiesel blending, and where CNG stations anyway, biomethane should count into these quotas. This could be a very easy first step. It's already happened in 7 countries, but it's easy to establish in every other country. Next step is to pick a way how the countries want to promote biomethane. Could be a feed-in tariff, as France is doing it, or Denmark. It could be more on the demand side, like Germany, on the electricity path, but also Austria thinking about a quota. Just saying, okay, we want to have 10% biomethane by 2030. And we give it to the gas utilities to reach this target, and they can establish own production, they can buy it from a farmer, they can import it. So there are different approaches. I think the question about applications is something which is relevant for the ramp up. But in the end, we want to replace every fossil methane which we have in the system. So at the end, the question is, where will methane play a role on the long run? And this is mainly in transportation sector, trucks, buses, ships. We will have some application in chemical industry where we need the molecules, and if it comes to combined heat and power. I think our biggest target for this decade is to turn every producer, every supplier of us into somebody who produces negative emissions. So CCS is the biggest target. The market will grow, but we want to be the ones who go a step ahead, who have like the best greenhouse gas value, who are able to build up a value chain, and we are starting right now. So we have now the first plants which already do carbon sequestration. We are delivering the first trucks of CO2 to different applications. Recycling into concrete, for example. We will ship the first amounts of CO2 to Iceland, where they have possibilities to store it in different geological formations. So there are different applications where we want to be the first to go in.